Joining us now, Chris Plante, a radio talk show host of The Chris Plante Show, and Leslie Marshall, Fox News contributor and syndicated radio talk show host of LeslieMarshallShow.com. Great to see both of you.
Hey, Gretchen. Thanks for having us.
So it's interesting, Leslie, to see these dismal numbers for the president. I think it's a bit ironic because he happens to be traveling overseas today and so far has made 2 speeches already today. Has he seen these poll numbers?
Well, I do believe the president's seen the poll numbers. And I have to tell you, Gretchen, even though I'm a Democrat, I'm not surprised at these numbers. What we constantly hear, whether it is from a former opponent like Mitt Romney, is criticism of how the president is handling foreign policy, specifically Putin, Russia, Ukraine. What we're not hearing is alternatives and specifics. I think people are missing a couple of things here. One is that through international law, the president's very limited on what he can do. And 2, we're not going to do this, and we're not doing it alone, and with the cooperation of our international allies. That's what we've been doing. And the second thing is Ukraine is not as important as perhaps we are perceiving it to be. It doesn't have the resources, it doesn't have the import and export, and geographically it's not positioned as some of our other allies like Israel.
Russia certainly is, though. Also in that new poll that I talked about in the lead-in, it found that 59%, Chris, of Americans think our country is less powerful as a world leader than it was a decade ago. Now, keep in mind, that's when President Bush was in office, and wasn't he supposed to be the laughingstock all around the world? I mean, to think that now Americans see our image and our presidency less than they did then.
Well, it is. You know, Leslie started out by saying, what with all the negativity that is directed at President Obama, you know, I almost laughed out loud. I had to contain myself. There's no critical reporting on President Obama, on the economy, on Obamacare. 2 of the networks, Media Research Center, came out with a study today. NBC and ABC haven't even mentioned any of the horror stories about Obamacare that Harry Reid said were all lies. Look, our president has decided to lead from behind. He's not really a world leader. He doesn't see the United States as a legitimate world leader. He doesn't believe that we should lead from the front. That's why he leads from behind. He started out by insulting the British his first week in office by sending the bust of Winston Churchill back to them. He insulted the Czechs and the Poles by taking down that missile defense that had been agreed to. He's alienated our allies, and he's made our adversaries, our geopolitical foes, laugh at us.
It's interesting, Chris, because he did sound more forceful today in the 2 speeches that I did hear when he was in the Netherlands. I got to wrap it up there because we've had so much breaking news today as we're watching the president now aboard Air Force One there as well. Chris and Leslie, I'll give you more time next time. Thanks much.
Thanks, Gretch.
No problem.